Hi guys, this is my first video for this channel and I'm hoping to make more videos eventually. So I really do hope you be kind, and I'm really passionate about this topic. So you might think it's funny, but I really do think that the tips I will give you might matter, especially if you have a foreign national, a friend or family or loved one that is coming through the Philippines anytime soon. And for you foreign nationals out there, I'm hope that what tip I will give on this blog will be, or this video will be helpful for you guys. So yeah, um, my first tip would be always bring toilet paper with you. I know that sounds funny, but in the Philippines, most public toilets don't have toilet paper. Unless you're like in a really classy mall, like the ones in Makati, like the Greenbelt malls, Surrendra and Taguig, Bonifacio High Street ones. They have toilet paper there, but most public toilets won't have that. And you might notice that if you are in a household and if the house is not westernized, that the bathroom's floor will be wet, and they don't really observe the putting up the toilet seat and putting it down after, because most toilets won't have a toilet seat. And so if you're a guy, you better be nice enough to wipe off if you are going to splash all over the toilet seat. So yeah, they don't have a toilet seat plastic thingy going on top of it. It's just a plain toilet, the toilet brim. So wipe it off if you're going to make a mess. Um, just to be considerate. And another thing you might find there is usually is a tabo. And if you don't have a toilet paper, the best people might do for you, or someone will do for you, or the bathroom attendant might do for you, is give you a tabo. Tabo is basically a pitcher that has a long handle. It's like a circular, usually container with a long handle. And most Filipinos would be washing their butts after they do their business. And then, of course, wash your hands before they leave the bathroom. So instead of wiping themselves with toilet paper. So anyway, it's a cultural thing, but yeah, always bring toilet paper. Um, Secondly, if you're from the US and you're visiting the Philippines and you're from colder part of the United States, like I am, I'm from Seattle. In the northwest part of the United States. It's it's really cold here compared to there. I grew up in Metro Manila, and it's usually like 100 degrees. It's not it's very common to be 100 degrees or so in the hottest part of the day, especially if there's no kind of foliage anywhere. And here in the United States, there's a lot of where, at least where I came from, if you're not from the big city, um, it's not really there's not much plants, and here there is a lot of plants, a lot of shrubbery and um, landscaping and whatnot, at least. But in the Philippines, yeah, you might be in an area without much foliage around, and it's going to get real hot. So prepare for real hot weather. And about the months of June to July is like the wet season. There's the dry season, wet season, pretty much in the Philippines. That's about it. And from the months of about maybe late May, early June until October, we are bombarded with typhoons. So it's going to be rainy. It's going to be humid, hot, and rainy. And something you should prepare for. So if before your trip, please do check the weather reports before you do, so you can bring the appropriate clothes, like any good travelers should do. Yeah, check the weather first before you go there, or before you go pack your stuff for the trip. Uh, Thirdly, um, be aware that you might be the unicorn, or the unicorn effect. I got this from another YouTuber, Rachel and June, and basically, in my case, my hubby is a white person, and my side of the city, I came from Malabon City, and they rarely see white people there. So he has the unicorn effect. It's like you've seen a unicorn, and everyone stares at him. It's like there's a quiet guys that suddenly happens when he passes or pops out of our house and walks around and whatnot. So it's the unicorn. Everyone just stares blankly at him and as he passes by. It's in a way it's rude and all, but you know it's the unicorn effect. So it's like being deer with headlights or something. But yeah, be aware of the unicorn effect when you go to to the Philippines, especially if you go to an area without much foreign visitors, like in the provinces. I did take him to my province in Nueva Ecija, or my dad's province in Nueva Ecija, and yes, he still got the uniform effect. And and some of the Filipinos there are really cheeky, and they will call him "Hey Joe," and you might hear that a lot if you are a guy visiting a very rural place. And yeah, "Hey Joe" would be a very common thing you will hear. After a while, it will hopefully fade out. But yeah, some Filipinos are just cheeky and they will shout out "Hey Joe." Um, if you're wondering where the "Hey Joe" part comes from, regardless of you're an American or if you're from Europe or something, if you're wondering where the "Hey Joe" thing came out, it's from, I think, GI Joe. Back in the day when we still had the military bases in the Philippines, right? I think they were decommissioned by 1992, and after that, it's just stuck. So you will hear a lot of "Hey Joes," and probably. So just be aware that you might. The unicorn effect. That's the third tip. So on to the fourth. The fourth tip is be aware of the low prices. Um, Many of the things and services in the Philippines are comparatively lower in the Philippines than it is here in the US. For example, I can get a full oral checkup and whatnot from, just to clean my teeth for like $15 in the Philippines if I go to a dentist, maybe 20. But yeah, here that's not even the deductible. uh, you know, copay and what, and that's not even part of it's not even the copay for some people out here. And yeah, $15. Medical tourism is a big thing in the Philippines. When I go to the Philippines, I have my full workout, and if I get my everything done, it's about $20, $30. It's not even my copay here in the United States. If you're a foreign national, you might understand what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's cheap just to have your medical expense done. And I know some Filipinos do this, or at least the foreign nationals I know who knows how it works. If you have like no dental coverage in your country and you want to have a filling or your wisdom teeth taken out and whatnot, most of the nationals who are aware about how cheap it is in the Philippines will just subside if, let's say, they were given a quote of $2,000 for their dental work. They will just go to the Philippines, have a vacation while healing and having their dental done in the Philippines. One of the places I go to, and I'm not sponsored by them, is Healthway. It's a system of clinics with dental services and clinical services and whatnot in the Philippines. That's usually what I go to, and they give good service so far, and I'm satisfied. So yeah, it's a pretty practical to do your dental and what medical stuff you want to do in the Philippines. And besides the medical and dental stuff, salon services, spa services are also a lot cheaper in the Philippines. So if you're looking for like a good spa day to relax someone, take them to a nice spa. Of course, a nice spa, because there are still some, sadly, scrupulous spa out there that has special, exotic, sensual massages. But yeah, go to a decent spa. Usually, if you just go to a mall, a lot of the services are there. And yeah, you can find almost everything uh, at the mall. If you're like in a very rural area with a mall, not much. But if you're